What's up, YouTube? I just wanted to make a video once I got my first Savage clear. And you're wondering, why are you uploading a video of why are you talking about your Savage clear? This video is actually about just the stuff that goes in my head about raid leading or raid calling in Final Fantasy compared to World of Warcraft. And I wanted to make this video after I got a clear because I wanted to know the feelings and my thought process and everything that goes along with getting a kill, a boss kill in Final Fantasy, because I've gotten multiple kills in World of Warcraft. So yeah, I just want to rant. I just want to rant about raid calling in both games and the differences and what is better, which one is better. So if you like this content, leave a comment and all that down below. Subscribe, all that kind of jazz. Yeah, we're going through all the Savage. We're on M2S, and we'll be going to M3S and then M4S, and then later down, and we're going to be doing through the Ultimate. So if you want to see all that content from a raid leading perspective, somewhere around here, just press the button. And for that, let's get into the video. So I'm just going to play this pretty much and just like rant on it. So is there much of a difference between Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft when you raid lead? No. Or raid call, sorry? No. Which one is harder? I'd say they're both... I'd say Final Fantasy is a little bit easier just because of, I think, the complexities of mythic raiding. I haven't done an ultimate, so maybe this will, 100% change when we do an ultimate, because I know ultimates, they go for a longer fight period. There are a lot more mechanics, a lot more strategic things that go through. And I think when we talk about mythic raiding and ultimates, I think they're going to be exactly the same. But I'm just going based off this savage kill, which is, I'd say, like a heroic level compared to maybe heroic end boss or heroic second end boss. So anyway, let's get to it. What do I enjoy better? World of Warcraft raid calling or Final Fantasy raid calling? You know, from my perspective, they are both insanely good. They're both good. They are both great. The only difference is in terms of the complexity of the fights. Whereas in World of Warcraft, you do need a lot of weak auras to be able to figure out and auto-play the bosses, like people say. But you do need a lot of weak auras and a lot of add-ons to help you out to make things easier. Whereas in Final Fantasy, there are no add-ons. It is what it is. You get into a raid and you just raid. You figure out the mechanics there and then. There is some things called blind progression in Final Fantasy. There's also blind progression in World of Warcraft. But this static, or this skill that me and a couple of friends have started, we aren't doing it blind. We are copying other people's strats that have cleared it, copying a few things from one people, copying a few things from another people, and just making it easier for ourselves. And that is literally the same thing like World of Warcraft. You find all the kill vids, figure out what works, then once you start executing different things in the fight, you start changing them a little bit to make it easier for yourself. So in terms of preparation for both games, the way that I have prepped for Final Fantasy is a little bit different, because as being the raid lead and trying to figure out the strats, I've had to go through and do all that stuff. Whereas in World of Warcraft, we've had Tree Bucket, we had Taladorian come up with the strats, and I'd be there to help out if need, put my input, but they were the main two. And for me, it'd be more just understanding what our strategy is to defeat the boss. So there's a little bit of a difference. In terms of raid calling itself, it's a little bit different because let me just go here into World of Warcraft, into the intermission of Firaak. Sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming, like in the beginning. So as you can see, when we're clearing the boss, this is the Savage Raid intermission. No weak auras, no person saying, oh, you're going to get hit, you're going to get knocked up, this is the way that you need to face, blah, blah, blah. Whereas in World of Warcraft, here, what you have to do is you have to have a weak aura, so you have your knock up, you have your all flame, you have your corruption. You have your weak aura to tell you which way you're going to go. And then what you have to do is you have to make sure that you count your orbs and soak your orbs. There's a lot going on here. You don't really need like all these other little things like the shield break. Are you going to break the shield? Do you have enough damage? There's just a lot going on. You have these lines that you have to dodge while soaking, and then like you're prepping immunities and so on. So that's going to definitely change when it comes to ultimate raiding, because I've seen some ultimate raids and they are fucking crazy. They are cracked in terms of shit that goes on. Like, stuff that goes on is insane. So this is just from our Black Cat kill. In terms of progressing a raid and everything, it's literally the same thing. So I took some lessons from my WoW experience, is that you figure out the strat, you figure out the whole strat. So it's a 10-minute fight, you figure out the whole 10 minutes. And you progress. Then when you go and you talk about it to your guild or your static, you talk about the first 3 minutes or the first phase. You go through that phase, you complete that phase, and then you just keep repeating until you get that done without needing to say anything and perfectly. And then you talk about the next phase, and then you do both phases until you get very comfortable with both, and then you do the last phase, and hopefully then you eventually get the kill. So that's one thing that I learned from the my WoW experience, is step by step. As long as you can clear everything, as long as you can get through step 1, step 2, step 3, do that and slowly progress. That's what prog raiding is all about, and that's what makes it super fun. In Final Fantasy, again, there's actually not much difference in terms of prog raiding. One of the biggest differences, as you can see, Final Fantasy, we have 8 people. Mythic raiding, you have 20 people. Raiding strats for 20 people would be a lot more, would be harder. It'd definitely be a lot harder because you're managing 19 other people instead of just managing 7 other people. And with World of Warcraft, things like this, it can move into different, like mechanics can happen to 19 other people. Whereas in Final Fantasy, they're really, what's that word? Yeah, so you can either go on the supports, or you can either go on DPS. That's how that usually happens. With World of Warcraft, when mechanics happen, it goes on whoever the fuck they want them to go. It just goes on whoever the fuck they want them to go. As you can see, like the cages can go on anyone, the breaks can go anyone, so you have to be pinpoint. Whereas in Final Fantasy, they go on specific people all the time, which makes it a lot more easier to figure out who's getting what and making sure that they execute their job properly. Again, this is just me ranting. Preparations for Final Fantasy compared to World of Warcraft. Again, exactly the same. A little bit different because in this one I'm actually doing the raid leading. And what is actually also good in the Mythic in the Final Fantasy is there's a lot more people that talk up and help call out strats because you have such less people. It doesn't get too crazy when a lot of people talk, like a lot of people talk. So it's actually very helpful where you can have certain people look at certain mechanics and call those certain mechanics while I can focus on the overall kind of thing. So, I love both rating. Which one's better? They're both super good. They are both super good, and I can't wait to start going to M2S and then M3S and then M4S and then ultimate rating and leading an ultimate raid. That's going to be insane. They're my next goals. Um, rating is super fun. I love rating. I love raid calling. It's an itch. I don't know. I don't know why I have the itch to do it. I think it's the accumulative of progressing a boss with a group of people and just executing and executing and executing and eventually killing the boss is such a great feeling. So again, if you enjoyed this content, and if you enjoy and if you want to have a look at the next raid leads for M2S, M3S, M4S, and Ultimates and World of Warcraft as well, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Appreciate you all for stopping by. Peace!